Welcome to Valerie's Real Talk podcast. My name is Valerie Smith and I'm your host. Today is episode 41 and I want to speak to you about trust your intuition and throw away all the doubt. Sometimes, it's hard to understand what is intuition. We always say it feels like deja vu all over again. But it's not deja vu. It is your intuition, which is your soul. We all have it, but we ignore it. You always heard that animals always follow their instinct. They have this feeling to go to higher ground. Or you see the birds going crazy and they flying somewhere else, and that's how you know as a human that something is about to happen. However, when it comes to human instinct, which is our intuition, we ignore it, we question it, we doubt it, and then when something happens, what's the first thing you say? I should have listened to my gut. I had a gut feeling that something was going to happen, or I had a gut feeling I should have called that relative. And guess what? That relative passed. And you start regretting not listening to the intuition. And over again, it happens all the time. Because why? We're human. We have what we call human fear, human doubt. We have no faith in our own decisions, and we have to question everything. We have to ask people for validation. And why? If our intuition is telling us that we must take this next step, what do? We take 2 steps back instead of taking 2 steps forward. And it is time for humanity around the world to understand that your intuition is your guide. I'm going to say it again. Your intuition is your guide. Doubt is fear, because now you're doubting what your intuition has told you to do, and now you got to question yourself. How many things did you doubt in your life and you could be ahead of the game? You could be far in your career. You could have had a product that you had created not too long ago out there. It happens to us all. It even happens from a lot of people that you know that's on television. They're actors, they're lawyers, they're doctors, they're all over the place. And trust me, if you talk to someone who's famous, they've probably done it more than once. They doubted their decisions. And when they think about it, it wasn't that bad at all if they had just started. My first episode, I speak on how it took me 3 years to put this podcast together. My intuition says start it, but my fear was what people thought about the name. Because somebody said, who's going to come and see your podcast because it says Valerie's Real Talk? You should have a niche. You should have it towards the people so you can get so many thousands and millions of followers. And just one day, and that one day was September 27, 2023, I hung up my doubts and I said, forget it all. Forget about what people think. Forget about my thought pattern of having music intro and having a music exit the podcast. All of that was stopping me. And my intuition just said, forget it all and just post it. Just publish it. People want to hear the message. If you want to add the music later, add it later. But we cannot wait another year. And I say to you, Whatever is holding you back, let it go. Trust the process. Trust it. You have nothing to lose but to listen to your intuition. Your intuition is telling you great things and you're doubting yourself if you can do it. Well, I think your intuition is smarter than the doubt because your intuition knows what you can bear and what you can do right now because you have the talent. We all have doubt. We all have fear. And that is okay because guess what? You're human. But one day you're going to get sick and tired of being in this rut of doubt. You're going to say, I had it. I'm done. It's time for me to show the world who you are. If you don't, they'll never know you. If I didn't come out of that rut of worry about what people thought of the name of my podcast, guess what? You never had heard of Valerie's Real Talk podcast. Imagine that. I'm at episode 41. I never thought I'd get this far because people say when you get past 7, you're on your way. But there's some people who cannot get past 6 episodes. But I'm at 41 and I'm going strong. I do this every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, this podcast message comes out to the people. And I want to give you knowledge, to trust your intuition, to trust the process, and to stop doubting yourself. You are a great person. Whatever that is, that you're thinking that you're not great, that you're not creative, that you can't go forward with whatever your intuition told you, and maybe it's just bigger than you. However, your intuition knows you can do it, but you got to believe. Trust the process. Trust me, you're going to go far in life. And if you got to get an accountability partner so you can stay on track and do what your intuition tells you, get one. That way you can share what you're doing. Just share it. And sometimes it takes sharing what your intuition told you to do and see it in action. And your accountability partner is going to hold you to it. Because why? We don't have time for doubt. There's a world out there that needs to hear you, that needs to hear your voice, that needs to see your gifts. You don't hear what I say? I say gifts with an S, not gift, because God gave us all gifts. And you know what they are, but you're hiding your light. It's time to shine. So I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to bring out that beautiful journal, that beautiful notebook. And I want you to write down, it could be many, it could be one, what is holding you back and what is that intuition telling you that you need to do. And it could have been 5 years ago. It could be today. What have you been holding back from the world? That gift, that creative niche, whatever that thing is that you're good at and you have not shown it, I want you to write it down. And I want you to think about what are you going to do today to bring it forward to its fruition where people can see your gifts shine for the world to see. I want to say thank you for joining me today, Valerie Smith, at Valerie's Real Talk Podcast. And I look forward to seeing you next week for episode 42.